Back now, as you can imagine, it's been a nightmare couple of months for South Africa on the sporting front, with the BabyBoks, Banyana Banyana, Amajita and the Proteas all being knocked out of their respective World Cups. So now it's up to the Springboks to try and ease that pain in the World Cup that takes place in Japan in September. Meanwhile, Springbok boss Rassie Erasmus has quietly put together a 39-man training squad ahead of the shortened Rugby Championship starting later in the month. And of course, Shahid Joseph joins me live in studio to discuss this further. Afternoon, Shahid. Welcome back to the show. Rassie seems to have chosen a very solid squad. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's a 39-man squad. We all know he has to trim it down closer to the World Cup, and even traveling to Australia and New Zealand for the championship, that squad will be cut down. But quality players all around. And he was actually speaking about the positions that certain guys like Frans Steyn, Cheslin Colby, that they can fill in, not only on wing or fullback, but they can even slot in at center at times. So he's got versatility with his back line as well. And he's got quite a few guys to choose from his captaincy, because as we know, Siya Kolisi is out injured.
Just in terms of that versatility in the backline, guys like Dylan Lades come to mind, Cheslin Colby. What about an outside pick like Kerwin Bush? Talk to us about Cowen Bosch, because he came back from injury, had a great season with the Sharks at fullback, at fly-off, and just basically was dazzling the whole season. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, for sure. Cowen is a standout player. But at 15, he was preferred to 15 at the Sharks as opposed to 10, where, you know, he seems to have more freedom in attack. And Rassie spoke about, you know, his versatility as well, that he is a player that they would look at, but he's not part of this squad yet. So it just shows you that the depth that the Springboks have right now, that a talented guy like Cowen Bosch can't make this provisional team yet.
What does that say for a guy who's injured, a young player like Aphelele Fassi? Would you, if you were Rassie Erasmus and he was, Aphelele Fassi was healthy, playing the way he was, would you pick him in this widened squad?
Yeah, of course, that boy, his speed, wow, he's such a quick player, an intelligent player, and he seemed to click with Cowen Bosch, with Lucanio Am. I mean, when the Sharks were good, they looked unbeatable on the day, but they had an up and down season. But he's still young, Fassi, so, I mean, we will see him in years to come. But right now, you know, he just has to sit back and maybe just look at these guys and say, that's where I need to be. Not that he's far off, though.
Okay, now, just in terms of the senior players that are injured, we spoke about injuries. Siya Kolisi, obviously, Ibn Etzebeth. You look at a guy like Warren Whiteley, also former captain. In fact, all three of those former and current captains. Talk to us about those senior players not being part of the team that's going to play in the championship.
Well, Siya, they're monitoring his progress right now. I think they'll be getting a scan on Friday about his knee and just checking if he can fit in. He's part of the squad. He is part of the squad, but Rassie said he wants him to play in the Currie Cup, get some game time, and see how he copes with his injury that happened during the Super Rugby season. The same with Ibn Etzebeth as well, a broken hand. He's getting his scan done on Friday as well, but he doesn't seem too serious. I think he'll be part of the squad that goes to Australia and New Zealand, or that plays against Australia and New Zealand. So looking good there for Ibn Etzebeth. Warren Whiteley, we're still unsure as to when he'll be back. And yeah, it's strange that three captains are out injured, long-term injuries, but there's still no shortage of leadership in this squad right here.
100%. Now, just in terms of the players that have been recalled from overseas clubs, guys like Marcel could still come to mind, Reinhard Elstad, Cheslin Colby, Francois Steyn is another one that Rassie was speaking about in that clip. Just talk to us about those players and what they add and bring to the squad.
Well, these guys, they all performed admirably for their respective clubs in Europe. Rassie spoke about Cheslin's contribution as well as Marcel. I think he said that this was the first time he was working with that player, and you know, he's taken a liking to him. He says, no, he's fitting in right with the players, with the coaching staff as well, and there's no doubts about their fitness, because they just come from a long season as well. They've rested. In fact, that's what he said, that they've rested enough to get back into the swing of things with Springboks and hopefully peak at the right time. So he's happy with these players that he's brought in. Frans Steyn, I mean, that guy, World Cup winner, we know about his experience, so he's definitely a huge asset for the Springboks.
Let's look in quickly into the other corner. Yesterday morning, the All Blacks announced their squad. Very powerful squad, but yet again, there was no place for a player like Ben Lamb. Very quality, very good player, skilled player. What does that say about the level of the All Blacks, where a guy like Ben Lamb can't even get in?
Yeah, if you look at our squad and think we have depth, and you saying Ben Lamb is not even making that team and he's injured, you know, that should send shivers through the opponents, because New Zealand has always produced quality players in every position. There's at least 3 or 4. I mean, Ryan Crott is also out injured, but they had no sweat in replacing him and bringing in new centers. But yeah, New Zealand, yeah, once again, they are favorites.
Of course, that will be Nani Laumapi and, of course, Jack Gutu replacing guys like Ryan Crotty. That's, of course, Shahid Joseph, our rugby correspondent, and he's breaking down the Springbok Widen squad, which is a 39-man squad that was announced for the upcoming Rugby Championship.